Hi guys, welcome back to Where Stephanie Reads. Today, I'm back with another tag video, and I'm going to be doing the mid-year freak out tag. So, let's get started. The first question I got is best book you've read so far. The best book I read so far, I gotta say it's two books that I read so far that I was really impressed by. And the first one is Ever the Hunted by Erin Somerville. And I loved it so much that I read it in 3 days. 3 days. And, to get my attention that much, it has to be a good book. And I actually saw it on Booktopia, and I thought was like, wow, that was a pretty cover. I want to see that cover in person. I want to see what it looks like on the inside of the book. And so I got it, and it had like a map in there, and it was really pretty. So I really loved it. And the book had magic, strong female character, and there was also some romance in it. So if you like steamy romance in it, so there is that, and there's even like a murder mystery in it. So it's really good. The second book I read this year that gotta say was one of my favorites is The Black Witch. And I actually mentioned this book before in my channel, and I actually did a review, which I will leave a link below on the bottom. I really loved it, and it had magic, it had mages, it had people that can turn into wolves, uh, people who have wings, different kinds of races of different kinds of like elves and so on, and it was really good. And I liked the female character. I liked how she came overcome her struggles throughout the book, and she is learning about herself and learning about how the real world is in her fantasy world. So it was really good. So the second question I'll go with is the best sequel you've read so far. The best sequel I read so far, I haven't read that many sequels this year, but I have read Wind Witch by Suzanne Denard and Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken, which is kind of like the sequel to Passenger, if you haven't heard of it. And like I said, I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. And usually, when you get to a second book, that's when the series starts to not go well as the first book. Like when you get that first book, you're really impressed by, but then the second book is not so great, and then it continues to go down, or just be like sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get. But I thought these two sequels were really good, so I am having high hopes for the series so far. Both lots of action. Wayfarer had more time travel, less romance, but more time travel, strong female characters, and I like the time travel part. And the other book, Windwitch, there was more strong female characters, lots of fighting in it, and lots of action scenes. And also, they both had magic, so they had special abilities. Everybody does. So it was really good. So they were both so much fun to read. Next question is new release you haven't read yet. A release that I haven't read yet that's new. I haven't read The Lord of Shadows, which I'm totally stoked about. I've been waiting it for a whole year, and I also had it in my room and borrowed it from the library, so I was like one of the first ones to get it. But I was borrowing way too many books, and by the time I got to reading it, I had to return it, and now I have to wait a long time for it to get it again. So it just sucks. So when you have to wait a long time. So that's the book that I've been waiting for, and now I have to wait. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. My most anticipated release that I'm super excited about to come out, and I want it to come out now, is Origin by Dan Brown. I'm a huge Dan Brown fan. I loved the Robert Langdon series. I like Angels and Demons. I loved Da Vinci Code, Long Lost Symbol. I love Inferno. And they're just so good. And there's mystery and history in it. There's art, codes, and secret messages in there. It's just so good. And even I like the movies. I thought the first one was okay, but it's Tom Hanks in it, so it's usually forgivable. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to not to hate. It's hard to not like Tom Hanks movies. So so I can't wait for Origins to come back out. So the next question is biggest disappointment. I haven't read that many disappointing books. My year hasn't been actually pretty good so far, but I gotta say one of the books that kind of like was kind of like an okay. Was kind of like I would say uh, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. I'm a huge fan of Red Queen. I love the second book, except the ending, but I like King's Cage somewhat. Kind of split. Some parts I liked about it, and some parts I didn't like about it. And I felt like there's some parts that were way too long. So I won't say so much because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it and still wants to read it, but I'm kind of split between it. So, I mean, not to say I hated it or something, but I will just give it like a 4 or 3.5. So, anyway, so the next question is biggest surprise. A book that was a big surprise to me that I didn't think I was gonna like it. Let's see. Well, I usually am really good about these things, but I guess Ever the Hunter was. I wasn't sure about. I mean, I thought I was kind of split between it because Ever the Hunter, I saw the book cover and I loved it, but at the same time, I wasn't sure. Maybe I wouldn't like it or something because I have been wrong before about book covers, and usually was more most of the time I'm right, but sometimes I have been wrong. Like Fallen by Laura Kate series. I did not like that one, and I thought the cover was cool. But Ever Hunted, when I read it, I didn't know I was going to love it so much to the point that I read it in 3 days. So it's a good one. So let's see, my favorite new author. I have a lot of new favorite authors this year. Let's see, some of my favorite authors now is Laura Forrest. I read her book, and so now I'm like a fan, so can't wait to the next book. I'm also a fan of Aaron Somerville from this year, so really like that one. I also recently got into Matthew Lawrence, who came out with another book called Freya, which I actually did a review recently. And I haven't seen that many books of his, so this book I really enjoyed. So yeah. Another question is newest fictional crush. Let's see. Can I say old crushes? Because like if I pick a like old one that I liked, I recently read the first book in the Thrawn's trilogy, and for those that have not heard of it, it's based on it's like a Star Wars one of those Star Wars books, and Thrawn trilogy takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and so I gotta say that I think back in the early days of Star Wars, I think Harrison Ford was really really good looking, so I think Han Solo is hot, so so I gotta say that he's my fictional crush then. So yeah. I mean the old Han Solo when it was still you know he was around and stuff. So the next question is newest favorite character. I gotta say my new favorite character gotta be I don't have one, but I don't know the name of her name because I forgot it. It was from Ever the Hunted also. But I'm also really into Sarah from Freya, and she is badass, she's funny, and I like it when she makes these funny comments or something, and I kind of like really enjoyed it. I also like from Lifeblood, which is part of the Everlife series. If you haven't heard of it, it's really good. It's like a dystopian, and it's like has a mixture of sci-fi elements and also the afterlife. So if you're really into that and strong world building, it's really good. So I think the main character 10, I like it because she is super smart and she knows math and she knows how to relate her life to math and numbers. So I liked it. So the next question is book that made me cry. Well, technically, I did cry a little bit at King's Cage. Year 2 is still 3.5 and 4 stars. Uh, Parts of it I did not like, but there were also some parts towards the end that actually did make me tear jerk a little bit. So that's one of the things. But I have never really like cried during books. So I'm still waiting for that one book that will make me cry a big huge storm. So next question. Book that made me happy. Let's see. All my books made me happy. Reading Heir to the Empire made me happy because I love Star Wars and I love seeing all my favorite characters from Star Wars, so that made me happy. And let's see, reading, finally reading American Gods this year made me happy because it's been on my list for so long, and finally getting done with it made me happy. That's kind of like an achievement when you get done with a book that's been on your TBR list for a while. So that's what made me happy. Let's see, favorite book to film adaptation you saw this year. Um, let's see. I don't have a favorite one for this year, but some of the ones that I've seen so far that did not come this year, but it was previously released, was gotta be Nerve. The book Nerve came out like a year ago, and it had Emma Roberts in it, who I'm a fan of. So I love her movies, and it's not my favorite adaptation. I would still go with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Year 2, I'm probably like unpopular with that one, but I thought like that movie actually did a really good job. So I mean, they did change a few things, but I thought they did enough to not piss me off. So, and you know how annoying it is when you see a movie that's based on one of your favorite books, and you're like, I can't believe they ruined this. I thought that book made a good job. And so let's see. The next question is favorite review you've written this year. Let's see. The favorite book review I've written this year. It's the one on the. I actually did one recently called Your One Word, and it was written by Evan Carmichael, one of my favorite YouTubers, and I liked it because one, I read a really awesome book about starting a business, but it was more than just starting a business, but finding that one word that describes you, your brand, and your business. And I think it is one of those very important books. Like, even if you're not starting a business, but if you have a project that you're starting, it's a good book to start out reading with that way you have your own message clear. So it's one way to have it. So that way it's like, so what is your channel, what is your word? So, and I also recently got like a thank you, like a video message from him, so it was like so cool. So it made me smile to see that, so it was really good. The next question is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. Let's see, the most beautiful book that I bought this year. Let's see, I haven't, not what I bought, but what I borrowed. The last week, a few weeks ago, I made a TBR video for the book York. I actually did a review on it, York, and I gotta say that is one of my favorite book covers that I read this year. So I gotta say that it was really beautiful, and it had like some steampunk elements, and it was shiny, and it's metallic and stuff. And so I gotta say it's one of my favorite ones. And of course, Wind Witch, the whole Truth Witch series, they always come out with really good covers. So I was really impressed with that one. And another book was called Lifeblood. I also have it another review on it. I mean, I have a video on it where I mentioned it in one of my top favorite video. That I was really impressed by it. So the next question and final one: what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Let's see. Well, I really need to finish the Harry Potter series. I'm on the third one, so I'm almost going to be about to read the fourth one now. So I really want to read the rest. And also want to read another Game of Thrones book this year. And I also must read Lord of Shadows. I must. The fact that I have to keep on waiting for it, I must. It's a must. and also want to read The Golden Compass, and I must finish at least some of the books of the Morganville Vampires. That is a must. So I guess that's pretty much it for today. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up button, and if you like more tag videos, let me know in the comments. And if you want to keep up with my channel, click on the subscribe button, and also there's also this button with a little bell on it. It lets you know when I immediately pop up. So, and also follow me on social media. So until next time, keep on reading.